This is how we were just talking about how much it must suck to not be able to do your job.
I would have noticed it.
All right, first we got to do our intro and ad read because we're just going to do all this at once. Right. So what kind of episode are we going to have today?
Well, I have questions, but if you also have questions, we can do those. It's up to you.
We'll see if your questions lead me to questions I may have. We're going to open with a review of your European vacation. Is what we're going to do. We'll call this Michael's European Adventures. Do you have a picture of you in front of like something cool in European?
Let me see. Maybe not in front of something. I have a picture of me with my family.
All right. Well, I'll have to blur out all their faces.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if they really want to be on or shown quite yet.
Fine. Well, while you're looking for that, so that's what you're going to get today, everybody. You're going to get some version of Q&A. Michael is, again, not prepared and literally just tried to screw us over by hitting record. And I'm watching over your shoulder doing your job for you yet again. So that's what you're going to get. I'll do an ad read here in a second. It's actually already done, so I'll just insert that. Are you caught up on your coffee orders?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So just so you guys know, the delay was 100% Michael's fault.
Yeah.
Because he was on vacation.
I may have been out of the country.
Yeah, you were out of the country. Probably my fault for launching it when you were out of the country. We still have some left. I'll put that into the show notes. Other than that, all right, boom, here we go. Today's episode is brought to you by Spartan Forge. I don't know the best way to approach this ad read. Should I talk about hunting? Because that is what the app is designed for. Should I talk about aviation? Because that's actually what I've been using it for in my non-hunting season. How about both? All right, founded by Bill Thompson. I had him on the show. He is one of those guys where you start worrying about yourself because he's so smart and you realize, oh, we're the same species, but we're not the same. His job was to create, find, and solve innovative solutions on the battlefield. Imagine taking somebody with 20 years of that background and applying that towards hunting, specifically the Spartan Forge app. We're talking imagery. We're talking all of the same stuff that other traditional hunting apps are using, and then some. Satellite imagery, which you can look at over multiple years, is really interesting actually to see how things change over time. And one of the main features, and this is where I overlay into aviation, is the LiDAR. That tool, flying the helicopter, has probably been my most valuable tool. I pair it with ForeFlight, which if you've watched any of the videos I've put up, you can see exactly how I do it. It allows you to see through the foliage, and I get a much better idea of the actual slope angle that I'm looking at. Yes, you can look at a topographical map. That's valuable as well. This LiDAR imagery is unbelievable. If you go over to their website, though, SpartanForge.ai, they have an amazing amount of tools. I've seen them announcing everything from looking at natural disaster relief and updating imagery to what I'm looking at right now. This gives you the ability to roll the time of day and see where the shadows are going to align. Do I need to be on an eastern slope or a western slope? It also has an AI tool. And I've used this tool, and you could ask it about setting up a rifle, setting up a hunt, tagging requirements. Think about this from the perspective of somebody who wants to get into hunting that doesn't have a mentor. I'm not saying it completely replaces it, but it is an amazing tool. This software suite is sick. I use it. I have it on my aviation iPad. I have it on my phone. I have it on my laptop. SpartanForge.ai. If you're into the outdoors, add this to your quiver immediately. SpartanForge.ai. Back to the show.
Okay, I got the red smoke. Gun run, north and south, west of the smoke, west of the smoke. Okay, copy, west of the smoke. I'm looking at danger close now. Come on with it, baby, give it to me, I need it. Get cleared hot. Copy, cleared hot.
We're going now.
Sure, if you want to. If you want to
I
be
thought
boss.
you were going to do the ad read.
I've already done it.
Oh, you're just putting it. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see. So trip, is that what you were asking about?
Yeah. What did you learn?
I learned about my family history, more about it, actually.
Anything impressive?
Kind of. We had like a whole church to ourselves. It's a small church, but it's pretty cool.
You had a whole church to yourselves. That doesn't...
Yeah, like it was built.
So it was like just for your family? You guys only did church services for your family?
I mean, I don't know. This is in like the 1400s, but it was built in our little area, village area.
Your little village area of what?
Yeah. Shelton. Shelton Village.
In Ireland?
No, in the UK. I wish it was in Ireland.
I feel like you guys were chambermaids. There's no way you have a city named after you.
Well, it's definitely not a city. It's like 3 buildings.
Yeah, okay, that checks out a little bit more. Walk me through the journey. Second time out of the country. This is impressive.
Yes.
You went with your family. Mm-hmm. All of the Sheltie brothers?
Yep. And then mom and dad and aunt and grandma.
Damn.
Yeah,
What was the
full
reasoning
trip.
behind the trip? Was it like a family reunion type thing?
I wouldn't say reunion because we see each other quite a bit, but definitely like family, like kind of heritage, kind of, because we're all English and Irish, and so it was just cool to see all that.
What do you think of Ireland?
I really liked it. Yeah, we were in Dublin. We were like based in Dublin.
Okay.
But everywhere we wanted to go was like at most a 2-hour train ride.
Did you have any Guinness?
Yeah, it is better in Ireland, smoother.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh yeah, because you went to Ireland.
Indeed.
Yeah, you would agree with the Guinness statement.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree with the Guinness statement. It was quite good.
Yeah.
Did you see Northern Ireland at all, or you stayed down south?
No, we stayed south, south of Dublin and south. So we didn't go further north than Dublin.
Okay. And then where'd you go in the UK?
We went to London for like a day and a half. It wasn't that long. And then we went to Norwich, which is where that village is, or it's around Norwich, which is.
You mean the hovel of Sheltie?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 3 buildings that you're calling a village now? Look at you trying to church that shit up.
There is a church with a tomb, a pretty large tomb, I might add, of my buried ancestors.
Like all in one tomb?
No, there's like 2 of them.
Cool.
Yeah.
How long are you guys gone for?
2 weeks.
Okay. Did you talk to any women?
Yeah, like servers and stuff. You did not specify. You just asked a very broad question.
But you knew exactly what I was asking, didn't you? Although I didn't specify, you knew exactly what I meant.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I answered truthfully, though.
You did. I got an email the other day, which I'm going to read on a maybe next Friday episode.
Okay.
It was like, stop pushing your fantasy of a woman on Michael. That's just your thing.
Fantasy.
I'll read
What?
it. Hold on. Stand by.
First of all,
Stop harassing Michael to get a girlfriend. Now you're pushing your fantasy on him. You know what's interesting, and this is what I've realized. People only hear your and I's interaction on the show.
on the show, yeah.
There's a lot that's missed.
There is a lot, yeah.
For context.
Yeah.
I think people feel like you're over there blinking Morse code SOS. Which, and I'm aware that I give you a good amount of shit, but you also deserve far more than I give you for things that happens outside of this room. But yeah, I realized there's such a difference between somebody hearing what you're saying and listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, it's all in good fun. Like
People don't get that. I don't think
Yeah.
they realize that the good nature of it. And I am partially being serious about asking if you're talking to women, because I know just the dating game that you've described, the fucking nuclear wasteland that I'm so lucky that I'm not a part of.
it's literally just not even worth it to try. Almost, it's just like I don't even care at this point.
I feel like that would be lonely.
It's really. I mean, once you get past once you
get past the being by yourself, it's not lonely
Well,
anymore.
like you just get used to it. You're just like, yeah, this is just the way it is.
But is that the way you want it to be?
I mean, ideally, no, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it.
Well, we can start our new series because we're going to have to travel for that.
Oh, yeah.
I
our
think we're
series,
going to
yeah,
start.
yeah.
It's going to be Operation Mishap. Michael is actually shitting his pants. I don't think it actually lines up to mishap, but I
No,
like
not
it.
really.
There were some really good suggestions.
Yeah, people sent me a few, and I'm forgetting them off the top of my head. But
I'll
they
let you
were some
pick it
pretty
if
good
you
ones.
want.
Okay.
Did you let your mom know we are going base jumping, even though she sent you a direct text message about it?
I don't think I actually didn't even know that we are actually doing that, or if we are.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great.
What's the worst that could happen?
I die.
I'll be there to capture it.
Great, thank you.
If you die, I'll die too. Not in the same moment, but like at some point.
You will die eventually.
Yeah, exactly. Samesies.
That's really.
We're in this together.
That's very comforting.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll yell at you, don't die, as it, you know.
Yeah, that won't help at all, actually.
It could also be the motivation that you need in that moment to not die.
I think the motivation is not the issue here. The issue is something fucking up on my parachute.
We're going to, trust me, the type of jump I was going to say that we're going to do, but it's you.
Yeah.
Is you're going to be all right. It'll be the exact same first type of jump that I did with Miles too, my first base jump. He's going to make sure the parachute opens now.
How do you make sure?
You make pretty sure that the parachute's
You
going to
can't be for sure until it does
You're
or doesn't open.
99.999% sure.
It's Schrodinger's parachute.
It's going to happen, and you are going to steer it into the water, and you're going to be good.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I'm just interested in your commentary when you're hanging over the ledge. The climb over is great as well.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Sorry, Michael's mom. When we go to Idaho, we're not going to do that. We're going to visit a potato farm. Overall, good trip, though?
Yeah, it was really good.
Good bonding experience with the family?
Yeah. It was a lot traveling with 7 people.
That is a lot. Any of the young Sheltie brothers get after it? A little bit too much Guinness, if you will?
No. We were pretty tame. Nick and Kurt went out once, and I don't really know what they got up to, but they were.
Why didn't you go with them?
Tired. So.
How are you going to amount to anything in life?
I've already.
You're in an age where you should never be tired.
Oh, dude, I was absolutely exhausted. We had really bad jet lag.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I realized that, saying this to you is like saying this to a brick wall because.
Did you have a cup of cafe, espresso?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and if you were still tired, you have more.
Yeah, I don't think it really works like that for me, at least. It doesn't really work like that.
Oh, your body processes caffeine differently.
Well, no, it just if I'm really tired, usually coffee doesn't help me that much. So,
why don't you show people your new pistol?
Oh yeah. All right. You know how people say, "I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it."
For clarity, that's a non-functional firearm.
This is what they're talking about, I think.
We come into the studio, so that came in a
camera.
Born Primitive box. They did I think it was a 4th of July last year. They sent a really cool box. That was it.
Yeah, and for some reason, Andy doesn't like it.
I'm not saying I don't like it. You walked in today and said, "Hey man, what's with that pistol on the shelf?" And I said,
it's dope.
God, if I get you, let's get a Kydex holster for that, and I want you to, outside the waistband, just open carry that fucker.
I would do that.
Or like a bear hunting across the chest.
What's it called? A bandolier.
We'll get a red dot on there. We'll just freaking
red dot on
We'll
this
just
thing.
like have Julia's going to welding school, so we'll just have her weld a red dot on there.
I don't really want to ruin it though.
How about a bayonet? Well, to get a big MKC knife sticking out the front.
That would be dope.
Yeah, that's for your powder. Jam that powder in there.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your ramrod.
Oh my God. Why are you using that end? That is clearly the small end. My God.
I was just doing a little joke there.
Yeah, it's like a hot dog flying down a hallway, huh?
Anyways, yeah, that's my new pistol.
I don't even know if you can. It's a fake pistol, but whatever.
Is it really not able to shoot?
Yeah.
Damn. That sucks.
If it was able to shoot, what would you have shot it at?
A target.
Fuck. All right. What do you got for today?
Okay, let's see here. How about all of the... Oh, actually, I know what I'm going to start with. So you heard that Joe Biden got prostate cancer, or was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Yes.
What I think is... Well, I'm not surprised by it, but the responses from people that are just like, "Oh, okay, so he obviously wasn't healthy," or like,
Yeah.
"Oh, the figures," and I'm just like, this guy is like 90 years old at the end of his life. Can we just like? I know some people didn't like him. I wasn't a huge fan.
Can we find some humanity?
Yeah,
you mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on, guys. Like, it's a little ridiculous.
It sucks. If that was anybody's father or grandfather, it wouldn't be on a public spectacle. I was about to say our country, but that's not actually fair. So many people, maybe that's not even fair. So many vocal people, ones who choose to eject their opinion into cyberspace. That's probably fair. They just won't let it go. Are there some suspicious aspects of it? Sure.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, I feel like I would hope a president would get really good medical care. I believe they go in for checkups. I am not a doctor. I don't want to ruin anybody's opinions of me. If they previously thought I was a doctor, I don't
think anybody thought that.
I don't think so
I
either.
think
I'm just
you're good.
throwing that out there for clarity. So I don't know how hard it is to diagnose stuff like this. I know for men, if you live long enough, your prostate is going to kill you. So a prostate screening and testing, specifically on blood draws, it's your PSA number, can be looked at. I mean, I feel like he had really good physicians.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it goes from undiagnosed to relatively advanced, and that's my understanding of the diagnosis. Again, I'm not a doctor. So could it be suspicious? Sure. It could absolutely be suspicious. Could it mean that the knowledge of his health condition existed and was hidden from us for a very long period of time and ignored largely by one side of the mainstream media? Yes. But does it change anything in the past? No.
Yeah.
Would you want to allow if it was one of your family members? Life is terminal, right? Like it's a terminal issue as it is. We're all going to die. I don't agree with a lot of Biden's policies. I don't agree with a lot of the way that he ran the country, but I don't wish that type of end. And that cancer plus the ridiculous scrutiny. I will say this. The scrutiny that he's getting, I think, can equally be placed across the Democratic Party and himself. And honestly, I think his wife was pulling a lot of the shit behind the scenes as well, too, and propping things up to a certain degree. He made the choice to stay in for as long as he did. I would probably to whatever level he understood it to be. The party, I have a hard time believing, truly didn't understand. They made the choice to support it.
Yeah.
So it's a combination effort, and it still sucks because at the end of the day, I'm trying to view him as a human being. That's going to be a rough end for him regardless. And I think anybody would probably just hope that they could drift off into the sunset and have the best last few years, months, whatever that is remaining. I don't think he'll live that much longer, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it says here, stage 4 and have spread to the bones. So
yeah,
it's like,
and I've heard people say, well, you know what, they're just saying that this is what it is, so they don't have to be honest about an Alzheimer or a dementia diagnosis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're giving us this, even though this isn't what it is. It's an excuse that they can use, and they'll say that was the cause of death as opposed to the mental decline. Listen, it is what it is. The results of the election were what they were, I think largely because, again, that's where I'm going to give some of the fault to the Democratic Party for forcing that as the candidate and not being just objectively honest, himself, his inner circle, family, all of those things. That's why nobody's going to let it go on the right, because they were unwilling to be honest objectively on the left, and it sucks.
Yeah, well, it's like, how did nobody? There's like, I don't know how many senators and representatives on the Democrat side. How did nobody say, hey, why are we doing this? Like, this guy's obviously way too old for this.
I don't know if they can speak openly like that, at least publicly.
Yeah.
I am very curious about politics, and I've said this many times. I don't know if the people who want to go into politics are, for whatever reason, susceptible to corruption, or you get in there, whether you are incredibly altruistic and the system is so fucking toxic that it just destroys you and changes who you are.
Right, yeah.
But I think a lot of these people, if not most of them, realize I either toe the party line or the party will eject me. So I don't know if they're allowed to say those things.
To have an opinion like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
I would
say
like
it
to
publicly.
believe so.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time believing so.
Yeah. This kind of, actually, I didn't even have this plan to ask you, but kind of goes into, there's a big, I think in the UK right now, referendum on assisted suicide.
Yeah, it's big in I'm not going to say big. It exists in Canada as well. Yeah.
And like debate on either side of like, should this be allowed? Will people take advantage of it? What will happen? Blah, blah, blah.
So I do think people will take advantage of any system, but it's probably going to be a very statistical minority.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can make policy based on the anomaly or all of your decisions or thoughts. I think it's a dangerous thing to base all of those on the anomaly and not the norm. I think you have to recognize them and be able to talk about those things, but also maybe separate that from the larger issue in and of itself.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the argument against allowing somebody, especially when you start talking about terminal illnesses that are going to have a horrendous end? Cancer as an example. I don't think my mom would have chosen that path, and the reason I know that it exists in Canada, there's a really famous hunter up there named Jim Shockey. His wife was diagnosed with cancer and chose assisted suicide to end her life on her terms with her family there, you know. And in reading that article, I mean, maybe I had heard that it existed up there, but that one came across my social media feed, and I looked at it even further because of the hunting stuff that I follow.
Yeah.
Give me an argument, a humane argument, why somebody in that condition, in phase of their life, shouldn't be able to make that decision.
Yeah. I actually saw when I was in Norwich, one of the cathedrals there was to be clear, I'm on the side of people, if you are of sound mind, I think you should be able to make that choice.
And I believe that there are steps and protocols in place. Could you game those? Yes, but is that the anomaly or the norm?
Yeah, exactly. That's anomaly. But I saw in one of the cathedrals of a whole plaque. It was like 10 reasons to vote no on assisted suicide. And at the end, like for most of them, the thing was suffering is human, and so everybody should suffer, basically. And I'm just like, wow, that's...
Suffering, I would agree, is human, but who are we as individuals to tell everybody else how they should experience their life?
Yeah. And that's kind of what, there were a few that were different. I don't remember exactly, but that's what a lot of them boiled down to, was like, yeah, suffering is part of life, and so you shouldn't basically be able to get out of that. And I was just like, man, that's a really shitty, in my opinion, that's a shitty mindset to have. But
I get worried when people try to force their worldview or ideology, and by that I mean by force, and that could be physical or with legislation, and try to demand that everybody else believe what they believe and live their life the way that they live. That makes me uncomfortable. I want people to live their most fulfilled life. Believe whatever the fuck you want. I've said this many times. As long as it's a consenting adult, I'm kind of like a very individual freedom type person.
Yeah.
You start preying upon other people, you hurt kids, fuck you. All that shit goes out of the window. But I mean, again, where's the argument against allowing somebody like, and I can't remember her name, but Mr. Shockey's wife,
Louise.
Well, what fucking person with a shred of empathy would be able to articulate against that? Because I believe there was a doctor there, and I've heard in some of these instances the doctor will be there, but the individual has to administer themselves or at least initiate the process themselves. So it's, you know what I mean? Like, I don't. I mean, I would need to hear an incredibly compelling argument against it. And the argument that would not hold water with me is that, well, yeah, some people can game the system. Okay, show me a system where they can't. And again, I don't think you can legislate or paint a picture based off the anomaly only. Address it for sure. Figure out ways where that couldn't be the case. Put some restrictions and regulations on it, sure. But, I mean, I watched what cancer did to my mom.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't think she would have made that choice.
Yeah.
But I mean, fuck, I never had that conversation with her. So I don't know, actually.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I mean, that probably wasn't even something anybody even thought about when your mom was going through that, huh?
No, I don't remember it even been a conversation.
Yeah.
My dad has asked me to wheel him into traffic when he becomes vegetative, if he does.
That sounds like Vaughn, yeah.
It's like, I got you, say less.
Yeah.
Blindfold or no, do you want to see it coming?
Ooh, I don't know. I feel like I would want no blindfold.
Do you know that he watched Javi for us while you were gone?
I do know that.
Do you know that he sleeps naked and Javi likes to get under the covers?
Oh, God.
Why are you laughing? Where do you think this story is going?
I just don't like the premise. I don't know. I don't care where it goes. The premise already is not
He slept
fun.
with shorts that week.
Oh, thank
Apparently,
God.
Javi was a little bit too inquisitive.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to like where this was going.
The ween likes to understand his surroundings.
Ugh.
You're welcome.
I could have gone without that information, actually.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
What else you got?
All right.
This episode is brought to you by Sundays. I hope that all of you have a dog in your life because they're amazing. Now, I know that there's cat people out there. I just don't understand you, okay? I'm not going to talk negatively about you, but I don't understand you because dogs are the best. I have a dog. He's a miniature dachshund, a dackel, if you will. And he is the coolest little thing. His name is Javelin. And you know that their life is going to be shorter than, you're going to be lucky to get 10 years out of a dog, maybe 15 on the log end. I constantly think about that. And it reminds me to do everything I can to make his quality of life as high as humanly possible every single day. They just have less time. So I want to get as much in as we can. A lot of that, his health and wellness, has to do with what I feed him. Sundays is a fresh dog food made from a short list of human-grade ingredients. I'm not saying you should eat it, but it's human-grade ingredients. Co-founded by Dr. Troy Waxman, a practicing veterinarian who tests and formulates every version of each recipe. Contains 100% all-natural meat and superfoods and 0% synthetic nutrients and artificial ingredients. Dog parents have reported noticeable health improvements in their pups, including softer fur, fresher breath, better poops, and more energy after switching to Sundays. I can align actually with all of those. The ween has a short digestive tract. He's got a fidgety stomach. He does very well on Sundays. You know, it's convenient having food dropped off at your door. Sundays does not require refrigeration or preparation because of their air drying process. You can just pour and serve. They have a cancel or pause of your subscription at any time with a 14-day money-back guarantee. And every order, like I said, ships right to your door. So you'll never need to worry about running out of food again. Pretty easy to go to your door, grab the dog food, feed your dog. You can get 40% off your first order of Sundays. Go to sundays4dogs.com. Sundays4 F-O-R dogs, plural.com/clearhot, or use the code clearedhot at checkout. Again, that's 40% off your first order. This stuff is really cool. If you care about your dog, feed them the highest quality food that you can. Back to the show.
This happens a lot, but and there are several videos, I think I have one actually, of tourists in Yellowstone Glacier.
A tortoise?
What?
A tortoise?
No, tourists.
Oh, I thought you said a tortoise. I was like, really? In Yellowstone, there's a tortoise.
No, tourists
Yeah.
trying to interact with the wildlife, and
I'm here for it.
just how that never.
Oh, do you have a video? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, make sure the viewers can
This
watch
is short
too.
but sweet.
Oh my God. Go back again.
Yeah, and that's like a mild case.
Oh my God.
Like that could have been so much worse for her.
So we were up in GNP, Glacier National Park, if you will. And this was a few years ago. Very short walk. We went up going to the Sun Road, parked at this big parking lot up top where you can start the Highline Trail. And there's that walkway reminded me exactly of this.
Okay.
Large group of people is walking up there. A bighorn sheep comes cruising down. Very close. People are like, holy shit. Actually, very similar to that image. Let's just say you're farther down around by the trees.
Okay. Yeah.
And it crosses over the wooden boardwalk and stops right by a tree and is just eating the grass.
Yeah.
And I watched multiple people whip out their phones, get down to eye level, and they're sitting there like if my laptop is it, and we're like, they're just sitting there and just like,
Yeah.
and I'm there with my sister who was, an emergency room nurse for years, and her and I both look at each other and almost say identically the same thing. Like, we're not getting involved in this, regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
The thing eyes were like, you could tell was like chewing, but looking at him.
Yeah, being like, what's going on?
Slightly posturing, and I'm just sitting here wondering, where are the survival, the instincts for the person that thinks you're going to get to a wild animal, put a camera in their face. Why do people do that?
Dude, I don't know. It's just such a... I mean, probably people are very isolated from nature a lot, or a lot of people are, and so they just don't understand that that's not like a dog. Like,
there was another video I saw recently. A man was outside of his vehicle. He had a loaf of bread, and he was ripping pieces off and throwing it at a young grizzly bear that was no more than 5 feet away. The grizzly bear gets closer, and then the camera like shakes out of the person's hand as it was lunging towards the individual.
Yeah.
A loaf of bread.
It's just like, why?
I've seen a grizzly in the wild one time, and it's almost as if you could feel that thing was the alpha for 100 miles.
Yeah.
That thing would absolutely eat you asshole first while you're alive.
Yeah.
While you're alive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It would have no qualms about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We, there's a hike here that if you go up, you will almost always see goats. And you just literally, if they're going down the trail, you get off the trail and you just let them pass.
I did that on the Highline Trail.
Yeah. Never, you just don't interact with them because they're
don't make
wild
eye
animals.
contact either.
What?
Don't make eye contact either.
No. Because you don't know what they're going to do. They're wild animals.
Totally. You want one of my questions that I was going to answer for Friday? You're named in this, so it'll help.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
I'll get your impact on, or not your impact, but your feedback on this.
Okay.
Thanks for a great podcast. Here's a question I've been dying to ask you. If aliens invaded, this isn't going the way that you're already thinking it's going.
Yeah, okay.
And the president had to draft you and all of your podcast/influencer friends back into service, and he appointed you, meaning me, as the chief of giving call signs. What call signs would you give to the following people?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Oh, boy.
Number 1, Evan Hafer.
Don't really know him that well.
Micro SF is what I would give him.
Okay.
He stands at 4 foot, 8.5 inches tall.
Okay.
The shortest man ever on record to make it through the Special Forces selection program.
Is that real?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Mike Glover.
Okay. Don't really know him either, but...
I would call him domestic terrorist.
Well, that's just what he is.
Or DV1. 1 being in charge, DV, domestic violence. Too much?
Yeah.
Those were bullshit charges.
You
and
can say
it's
that.
like
yeah.
DV1. Like, that shit was bullshit. He worked his way through it.
Yeah.
So those are any thoughts you want to add?
Again.
I feel like you're being a real puss right now.
Well, that's because I don't know Mike.
Fine. Here we go. Jocko Willink.
Again, somebody I don't know, so this is all you.
I'd probably go with Giggles.
Okay.
Maybe Smiles, because it just is totally in line with his online personality.
Yeah, he seems like a real, just buoyant guy.
Yeah, it's like the opposite. It has to almost be like the opposite. Like, Mike is not somebody who was ever involved in fucking DV, which is why I'm going to call him that.
Yeah.
Timothy Kennedy.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what yours is for this.
What's yours?
I don't have one.
Yes, you do.
I actually don't.
I mean, where do you start? I'd probably call him coalition asset, sack of grenades, Shy-tac.
I don't know what Shy-tac means.
He does.
Okay.
Act of valor, perhaps. Those are all good.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Jack Carr.
Okay.
What do you got?
Author.
You suck at this.
I think it's almost...
What does he look like when you look at his mug shot with his hair and his beard?
Like a mountain man.
Pedophile. That'd be his name.
What? He does not look like a pedophile.
We don't know that for sure. And I don't think he's a pedophile. He would absolutely hate that name and every aspect of it. He would visibly be upset if you called him that, which is exactly why it's perfectly fitting.
Okay.
Pull up a picture. Go pull up a headshot of Jack Carr.
Again, I really,
You tell me if you don't think this guy's driving a van down by the river with
I've seen
free
it.
ice cream
I've seen
spray painted on the side of the van.
I've seen a picture of Jack Carr, and I really, the closeness of the eyes.
Pull it up. Let's let the viewer listen.
You know,
Or not listen, but
I
see it.
hadn't seen a picture of him in a while.
God. Yeah. That screams, that guy's down there in a Jeep Grand Cherokee with free lollipops.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, but it's the closeness of his eyes that does it.
Great author. He would hate that nickname, so that's what it is. That's how it works. That's how call sign work. You have It has to visibly disturb
Has
you.
to really
Yeah.
get to him.
Mike Ritland.
Okay, yeah, I do know Mike actually. He had he was just on the podcast.
Indeed he was. Thank you for paying attention during that episode.
You're welcome.
And not paying attention for whatever reason, that episode, this camera was zipping back and forth, focusing on the sign. You know who didn't catch that? The person whose job it was. But moving on.
Yeah.
What would his call sign be? Like K9 would be the easiest one, right?
Yeah, but that's not really like it's.
I would
too
for him.
literal.
I would pick a really expensive car, motorcycle, because I didn't know that he actually liked those things, and I can't give it a specific example, but that's what I would do. I would do some research on that.
Yeah.
Nick Lavery.
Yeah, I know Nick. I mean, I've heard of Nick.
Call sign?
Peg leg.
Not bad. I was going to go with Uno.
Yeah.
Blade Runner. You know, it's he would appreciate it.
I think so.
The last name is you, the editor.
I wouldn't say
You've also been drafted because it's an alien invasion after all. What call sign would you pick for yourself?
that you would give me, or that I would give
that
me.
you would. What you would want?
What would I want?
Yeah. If you actually, I was like, Michael, based on the feedback, people think I give you too much of a hard time. You can go ahead and pick your own calls. What would it be? Cabbage Patch? What would you go with?
No, nothing cringy and like that's really serious because that's just cringy, you know.
Okay, what would it be? Be like Thundercock or like fucking Warhammer, Pussy
No,
Viper.
I would. Pussy Viper's pretty cool, actually. I might just take that one. Something. Honestly. Yeah, Cabbage Patch is pretty good.
I'd go with like Almond Milk or Bottom Bunk.
I think wasn't Bottom Bunk. You were saying that for a long time. I think.
Probably it was Bottom something.
Yeah, I think it was Bottom Bunk.
Yeah. Those are the kind of questions I get.
That's a really good question.
Yeah. Let's do one more. You get to ask though.
Okay. I think you've seen this video, but the predator that gets asked how he targeted or what children he chooses to target,
Yeah.
and
The fathers.
Yeah, I'll just pull up the video.
This is a good video, and this is a good learning lesson for every man out there.
Yeah.
Turn it up as loud as you can so people can hear it. There you go. There you go.
How did you find your victims?
I found my victims moving from town to town. I scoped them out on school grounds. I scoped them out in Little League diamonds. I scoped them out in my own backyards, my neighborhoods, and things like that. I worked with people who had younger brothers. I socialized with those people so I could get in touch with their younger brothers and begin the grooming process. And eventually, it would take time, but I knew what I was doing. It was all calculated. I mean, this is nothing that happened overnight. You know, I knew, and I planned it all. It started out where I would move from one town to another.
You can go ahead and stop it.
Yeah.
In one town.
I have never heard that part.
I haven't ever heard that part either. But in the end, essentially paraphrasing, he says he left alone the people who had fathers that he thought were a threat or capable of violence.
Yeah.
So take it from the words of somebody who, for whatever reason, is comfortable giving an interview like that, and then I guess walking around fucking town or wherever he is at.
He's got to be. This has to be from. I don't know. He looks like he's in his home though.
I don't know where.
That's a horrible chair.
Yeah. With a horrible person sitting in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there you go. I mean,
Yeah.
I think violence should be avoided at all costs. I think it should be a measure of last resort. But if violence is required and you're not capable of it, then what do you got?
Yeah, you're kind of SOL.
Yeah, and just listen to that. A predator who made their decisions based off the capability, his perceived capability of specifically the father.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
what-
it makes sense.
Yeah, what vibe do you want to be putting out?
Yeah. Not the vibe I'm putting out.
I can see you being trafficked, actually. Leah and I talk about our concerns about you being trafficked.
I feel like the conversation is more you saying something and Leah refuting you.
No, she feels like you would get in the van if there was a puppy or a lollipop or an ice cream cone.
No, she doesn't.
She does.
I don't think so. I think you're lying to me right now.
No,
Okay, well, I'll ask her.
you should.
I
She
will.
has concerns because she thinks you're a nice man and like is innocent. And yeah, I'm like, what is wrong with giving somebody a hand job for a lollipop? I mean, it was, like she's worried.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely. You wouldn't think that I would maybe consider what was going on if somebody asked for a hand job for a lollipop.
No.
I would just say, yeah, that tracks.
Well, now that you have your pistol and you could show that to him, be like, why don't you give me that?
Oh, this thing?
Your room broom, if you will, your fucking people duster. What are you going to call it?
I don't know. Old Faithful.
It's not bad.
Yeah. I feel like you could just pack this full of shrapnel.
You just think you just jam shrapnel down there?
Well, not just shrapnel.
Like what else?
You have to have the wadding and the gunpowder.
Good.
And then you put the shrapnel
Pull out
in.
that the little rod again and show me which end of it you used to pack it down there, because the last time,
This one, obviously.
thank God you did it correctly this time. It's good. Yep. And then, of course, you would forget it's in there and it would blow up in your hand,
More shrapnel.
I guess. When's your next family vacation?
Actually, maybe. Not Puerto, or is it? Maybe Puerto Rico. There's my mom has a friend that has not a timeshare. She has a house down there.
Cool.
And so she was like, you guys can use it whenever you want.
Cool.
We're like, we might take you up on that, actually.
I've heard cool things about Puerto Rico.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's where we're going to go next. I would like to go to Croatia. Croatia seems pretty cool.
What have you heard?
Really good things, actually. I've heard it's similar to Italy.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Would that be a solo trip?
probably.
Yeah. Take some pictures of architecture and stray dogs.
Oh, yeah, I will. You know I will.
I know.
Did you like the hot dog exhibit I sent you?
Yeah, I got a picture from him of a hot dog exhibit.
I thought you would appreciate it because I said the glizzy exhibit.
Yeah, glizzies are known worldwide.
Yeah.
My father asked Julia what a glizzy was the other day.
What did she say?
She looked at him and said, "Grampy, you know what it is." And he said, "No, I don't." She's like, "It's a dick, Grampy," as she was eating a hamburger. I'm like,
That's awesome. Generations connecting.
yeah. Yeah. Old exploratory hobby. We'll leave it on that. Until next time.
Perfect.